Edward. Okay, so I don't think there's anyone here that doesn't know what Rainbow Valley does for people. But it's a charity that was started by a family who lost someone, and they wanted her legacy to be about providing a type of holistic input for people that was not just about cancer, but was about well-being, health. And so they set up the 7 Steps to Health, which covers things like sleep, mindfulness, nutrition, exercise, etc. I personally became aware of Rainbow Valley through a friend and colleague at work who knew about people who were involved in the charity personally. And when she said it to me, my response was, look, this is not my first rodeo, you know. Obviously I said that in my head, because I'm not rude, and also because it's a bit of an aft line. But I have had quite a bit of adversity in my life already, and this was my second diagnosis of cancer. And usually I come through things relatively whole and still smiling. So I thought, you know, I'm not really sure that's for me. And as a psychologist, I thought, to be honest, I think I pretty much know this stuff. So I thanked her politely and I thought, no chance. Anyway, as I was becoming more and more aware that my main coping strategy was about avoiding how I feel, and the fact that red wine played a fairly significant part in that, after one night of very hard coping, I woke up with a dry mouth and a sore head, and I thought, you know what, I need to do things differently. So there and then I signed up for Rainbow Valley. As the hangover began to subside, I did think, God, what have I done? However, do you know, I'm nothing if not reliable, so I pitched up with my friend Emma, that I don't get to see enough of, and I thought, well, at the worst, it's going to be 2 days with a friend that I like and I don't get to see much of. But having said that, very quickly I began to appreciate the things that were being taught. I really threw myself into it. The lovely venue and the even nicer food helped with that. But mainly it was the way that the information was delivered by very competent, knowledgeable and friendly people who really did make you feel part of the Rainbow Valley family. And I came away from the course determined to be a much more authentic and the best version of myself that I could be. And I know that does sound a bit poncy, but believe me, it's true. And I think the biggest thing for me, the biggest impact was the mindfulness bit, so thank you very much, Edward. Having learned all about mindfulness in my job a few years ago, it was something that didn't really resonate for me, but the way that Edward taught it, which was about making it so accessible, it brought a whole different meaning to me. So I became away more determined to take better care of myself, my health, my well-being, both emotionally and physically. And I really want to thank everyone at Rainbow Valley for that. However, I'm aware that not everyone who attends the course gets the same from it. And although I'm the one up here speaking, apparently it's not all about me. So I'm representing the amazing ladies as well that I took my clothes off with, which was for the Brave to Be in, obviously. One of them, Laura's here today. And we also have Ellie, who did our choreography here, which was fantastic. But I had the pleasure of meeting up with most of the ladies a couple of weeks ago, so I took the opportunity to get some of their comments about what Rainbow Valley meant for them, because not everybody takes away the same thing. So I'd like to read just a few of their comments, if that's all right. Rainbow Valley gave me the confidence to be me. I really did find myself. Everything up until that had been all about cancer. My life revolved around cancer and I hadn't felt like myself for a long time. Rainbow Valley helped me smile again and get the confidence to get out and start living again. Another quote, an amazing couple of days learning how to relax and take care of myself away from the hospital environment. First time I felt I could focus on myself and it wasn't all about cancer. So when we got the call asking me if I would consider taking part in Brave to Bear, I was more than willing to help. I wanted to fundraise for this amazing charity. When Lindsay contacted me to ask me to speak today, she mentioned that I might want to potentially talk about the fact that I might not have had the confidence to do Brave to Bear had I not been to Rainbow Valley before that. But I felt that I did have to correct that notion slightly. Anyone that knows me will tell you that given the right set of circumstances, i.e. the right charity and the right venue, and if I'm being truthful, potentially just asking me nicely, I'm front of the queue to do that kind of thing. So, and not because I think I have an amazing body, believe me, but neither am I ashamed of it. But I really got so much out of doing Brave to Bear. I got a sense of giving back to the charity that gave so much to me. I met the most amazing bunch of ladies that really inspired me, each and every one of them, for what they had or were still going through in relation to cancer. I was pampered, made to feel like a princess, and walked into a room full of love from all of the people that attended that day. As before, I asked my fellow bearers what the event meant for them, and again I'd like to share some of their comments. So, direct quote, "The camaraderie between us was unbelievable, and we would be friends forever. The way we were treated on the day was fantastic, and I felt so special, something that hadn't happened for a long time." Another one, "I had so much fun and laughed until my tummy ached. And oh my God, the most amazing thing ever, the most amazing group of girls that will be friends forever, so liberating, fun and emotional." And the last quote is, "It was a high like no other and an emotional experience that will stay with me for life." So, my only negative about the Brave to Bear event was that it was before I got my, in my opinion, amazingly beautiful mastectomy tattoo done. And I did think about rectifying that by showing it today, but then I realised that given that's not what you've paid to do and you're not thinking you're coming to see that, that's just indecent exposure, so I'm not doing it. I do also want to mention one very special person who's no longer with us, who did Brave to Bear with us, and that was Ailsa. I met Ailsa at the first rehearsal day for Brave to Bear. She had taken 2 trains to get there. She'd had to cross Glasgow between Queen Street and Central, which doesn't sound like an awful lot. However, Ailsa was also carrying with her oxygen tank because she needed to use that both in the rehearsals and just to get through. On the day of the event, she had to drain her stomach, which was constantly filling with fluid, and they had no idea why. But if you could have seen the way that she enjoyed that day, she was jumping in front of Edward to get to the front of pictures. She was beaming from ear to ear. And I genuinely think that Ailsa enjoyed that day more than any of the rest of us, and that's saying something. Unfortunately, Ailsa died on the 21st of October. But everyone who's had the pleasure of spending that day with her would know that that was really a highlight for her. It was a really, really amazing day for her. And I personally am really glad that you gave her that. So as I wrap up, I would like to thank everyone at Rainbow Valley for the courses that they've done, for organising amazing fundraising events such as Brave to Bear. And finally, I'd like to ask you all to raise a glass to Ailsa. Thank you.